We are revisiting some concepts that we've studied in the past and practiced and maybe even felt like you kind of perfected. We're just going to try to add some pieces to it. And when I say add some pieces to it, I'm talking about the presenting text evidence concepts that we studied back when we were reading To Kill a Mockingbird. Well, they've come full circle. We're using them again here for the Pearl. This presenting text evidence using the Pearl assignment is a Google Doc assignment. It opens like this. There's a resource at the top. The whole first page is a resource, and that resource will give you examples and definitions for transition, lead-in, attributive tag, text evidence, the citation, and the lead-out. We actually aren't going to need the lead-out today because we're not arguing anything, but we are presenting some text evidence as practice. So that includes, as you can see here in this example that you're also given here on page 1, a transition, green is lead-in, blue is the attributive tag, yellow is the text evidence, and the citation. This one's from To Kill a Mockingbird. You're also given a picture of some common transition words and phrases, just in case you needed a refresher about some of those. And then page 2, starting on page 2, you get practice number 1, practice number 2, practice number 3, and practice number 4. And you can see this yellow text here and this yellow text here is what you are practicing presenting. So I'm just going to give you one example today that you can go on, show you how you probably want to go about tackling each of these. They'll take you a little bit of time. And the idea, the goal would be to not just go back to what you were doing when we were reading To Kill a Mockingbird and borrowing text from To Kill a Mockingbird, but now to see if you can add present or past participle phrases as free modifiers as part of writing that you control. And you control the lead-in. You control the attributive tag. I mean, you don't necessarily control the text evidence, especially if you borrow it word for word from the text. And then ultimately, you also control the lead out. The lead out is your analysis. So there's lots of places where you can work in the Christensen rhetoric into the presenting text evidence. And I'll show you one example today. So the directions say that you need the following passages directly out of chapter 1 by the Pearl. You're being asked to locate it in the novel. You got to read around the passage so that you can figure out how to write a lead-in for it. Punctuate it properly because it doesn't have quotation marks. Like, it's yellow and everything, but this is a direct quote directly off of page 3, but it doesn't have any quotation marks. And then in this box, you need to transition, lead in, tag it, and then cite it. Here's the first one. This is the example that I'm giving you. It says, sometimes it rose to an aching chord that caught the throat, saying, this is safety, this is warmth, this is the whole. And you may not have any idea what that even means or what it's a reference to, but as you can see, it is on page 3. So I'm just going to zip over to page 3. There it is, page 3. And I don't know, I didn't do it, but somebody wrote in this one. Actually, they underlined it already, so it was easy to find in this book because someone already wrote in it. And yeah, here's that direct quote that you are practicing borrowing. Now the idea is like, well, what's happening in the context of this underlined quote that's in yellow on the Google Doc? It looks like it's just up above. I'm just gonna start here. It says it was a morning like other mornings and yet perfect among mornings. I think Kino's outside. This is chapter 1. He's outside kind of waking up to the sunset, so to speak. Kino heard the creak of the rope when Juana took Coyotito out of the hanging box and cleaned him and hammocked him in her shawl and in a loop and placed him close to her breast. So Juana's inside taking care of Coyotito. Kino could see these things without looking at them. Juana sang softly an ancient song that had only 3 notes and yet endless variety of interval. And this was part of the family song too. It was all part. Sometimes it rose to an aching chord that caught the throat, saying, "This is safety. This is warmth. This is the whole," W-H-O-L-E. And Steinbeck even emphasizes it by italicizing it. I think the idea is that, they live in these brush houses. They got these dirt floors. They clearly are not, they're poor. But here's this young family, young Kino, young Juana. They've got a baby. Kino wakes up in the morning. It's a perfect morning. Juana is singing. And I think, when they think of their family, they think of safety, and they think of warmth, and they think like this family is everything. It's a happy young family, despite not having material type possessions. So, I don't know how much you actually need for a lead-in, but here's that quote. Eventually, I'm just going to copy it right from this Google Doc. I mean, I'm going to use it as a direct quote anyway, so. But I was thinking, I just need to pick a transition. Any of these would be fine. We're just practicing. I'm going to go with nonetheless. Haven't used that in a long time. Nonetheless, when is a great lead-in starter word, like when this is happening, so-and-so says this, or so-and-so writes this. When Kino, I'm just summarizing like what's happening leading up to that, this yellow stuff. When Kino was outside enjoying a perfect morning, Juana sings a simple, happy tune. There's a good opportunity for me to work in some extra information as a free modifier. Juana having just cleaned and fed Coyotito. Actually, having just started to, I'm okay with that, what I had before. Having just cleaned and fed Coyotito, comma, sings a simple happy tune. And this whole thing about it sometimes rising to an aching chord. I mean, obviously a chord is a musical thing, so I think Steinbeck is referring to Juana's voice, and Steinbeck writes of Juana's voice. Yeah, I need a quotation mark. I don't have any quotation marks just yet. I'm just gonna unbold some of this stuff because only the transition gets bolded. But here I am, I'm copying and now pasting the direct quote. Just gonna finish highlighting it in yellow. I already got my page number, came with it. Here's my lead-in. When Kino was outside enjoying a perfect morning, comma, Juana, comma, having just cleaned and fed Coyotito, comma, sings a simple happy tune. Like, this is what's been happening in the context of this yellow stuff. This is what you need to know, that Juana is singing especially. And here's my attributive tag. I attribute the yellow stuff to Steinbeck. These are Steinbeck's words. None of the characters said these out loud. And Steinbeck writes of Juana's voice, sometimes it rose to an aching chord that caught the throat, saying, this is safety, this is warmth, this is the whole period on the outside. Just going to emphasize that. Hey, you know, all that hard work, that writing right there, even this amazing little present participle phrase is a free modifier. It all came from going back into the book and reading around. So you're given the page number for all of these. So you should be able to find it quite easily. We are practicing the transition all the way through the citation only. So you can have this one for free. That means you still have number 1, number 3, and number 4 for homework.